Welcome to the Rock Music Alliance interview sessions. I'm your host, Cole Coleman, along with Claudio Pesavento from Mahogany Rush and the Chris Squire Band. On our show today, you know his guitar playing from Budderside, Faster Pussycat, Dorothy, and now Tommy Henriksen of Alice Cooper and Hollywood Vampire's new band, Crossbone Skully. Welcome back to our show, Sam Bam Koltun.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having me again.
It's great to be a witness to your career, Sam. This is great. Now, before we get into some questions, are there any tours and releases about to drop that, with any of the bands that you're in, that you'd like to announce?
There's a few things. Yeah. In the immediate future, this week, Faster Pussycat is in Laughlin, Nevada. We're doing a mini residency this week, 4 nights, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then Budderside has a song that is coming out the 26th. It's called Ain't All Right. And then our full record drops on July 10th. That has 4 more songs that nobody has heard yet.
That's great. And we'll be sampling some of the Budderside release and Crossbone Skully in just a few minutes. So everybody stick around. Hey, where are you playing at in Laughlin?
We're playing at the Don Laughlin's theater.
That's the Riverside Casino.
Yes, that's where we're playing and staying.
I used to play there, Sam.
Nice.
For 3 years. Yeah, for 3 years.
And bring your air conditioner.
Right. I got to ask Tracy if I can borrow his.
So I also want to mention to the listeners tuning in here, if you want all the background information on Sam, check out our episode number 10 with Sam. It focuses more on his early years. It's a great episode. Today, we're focusing more on recent events in Sam's career. So, Sam, last time you were here, you were a member of Budderside, and you were filling in for Ace Van Johnson in Faster Pussycat, and you had just started working with Dorothy. So, if you would, let's pick up our story with Faster Pussycat. How did you get to know Ace Van Johnson and the Faster Pussycat guys?
Ace and I had been friends for a little while, just kind of from the scene in Hollywood, which you guys know. You know, Claudio knows, going out to the whiskey, seeing him at various jam nights and whatnot. Yeah. You know, that happen all around town. And he hit me up when he needed a sub, when he couldn't continue doing double duty between LA Guns and Faster Pussycat. So I went in 2019 to sub for him, and actually, to the day, it's been 5 years. So this is actually my 5 years with the band.
Wow! Congratulations! Happy 5th anniversary to everybody.
Thank you very much. It ages you very quickly.
So 5 years ago is when Tony becomes sober, probably.
No, Tammy's been sober a little over 7 years now.
Okay, so yeah.
So he had a couple of years before I joined, and then that's something that's probably aided things a little bit, is that I don't drink personally. So me and Tammy get along. I drink chocolate milk and water. So that's something that I think Tammy and I have gotten along pretty well, just having that mutual kind of thing now for him. So
you're allowed on the tour bus now.
I gotta babysit.
He doesn't go out after the show. He doesn't go out to talk to anybody.
No, he will a little bit here and there. Just kind of, just for him being in the bar after the show. It's not, it's not where it's just not a comfortable thing for him. So that's how he has to deal with it, and but it's working for him. So
that's good. So Sam, how did that solidify then? With what was the moment when they said, Sam, we'd like you to be full time with us?
I think it was pretty much after that first tour. So I was just there, and even I kind of said, I'm like, I just came in to sub. I'm not here to take Ace's job, but if it's kind of a mutual thing where this isn't going to work anymore, then sure, I'm down. So it was pretty much at the end of that first tour in 2019, and they were like, we don't want you to leave. So, and
wow, that's great, man.
I'm still here.
Is there any new recordings going on with Faster Pussycat?
There is actually a new song called Motorbike just got that finished, and we have a cover to go along with it, another B-side. We've done a couple singles so far, where we put out a single and a B-side. We put out Nola with a B-side of Pirate Love, and then we put out Like a Ghost, also with the B-side of Pirate Love, because that came out via Golden Robot Records. And so we have Motorbike with an In Excess cover of Don't Change. And that should be coming out, I hope, soon, because it's all done, and we like how it sounds now. So Jacob
cool.
Button mixed it, and
oh, nice.
Jacob is good. Jacob
yeah.
is good.
And we recorded some drums with Gilby Clark. So yeah, we're really happy with how they turned out.
So in that moment, you become full time, and Ace, he goes off to LA Guns, right?
Yes, yeah. Which he's been with them about maybe a little over 7 years, maybe 8 years now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And speaking of LA Guns, now we see on social media that you've become good friends with Tracy Guns, and just wondering, like, how did you guys meet up, and has he been an influence on your career?
Oh, completely. I'm trying to really remember the moment, kind of really meeting Tracy, but I know we met on the first cruise I ever did, playing for a singer named Gabby Ray. That was called Axis and Acres back in 2016. But I really kind of met him where I felt like we kind of connected a little bit with playing with Budderside. And at the time I had not joined full time, but I had been flown out to do a few shows and then do a Monsters of Rock cruise with them. And I was using some of Tracy's gear, and I just, plugged in and started at sound check. And he told his tech at the time, he was like, "Oh, let him use whatever he wants." And I was like, "Oh, that was really cool of him." And then it just kind of, here and there kind of grew from there. Really, being on tour with them in 2022, there was a tour, Tom Kiefer, LA Guns, and Faster Pussycat, which was really, really fun. But there was a lot of hang time with Tracy, and he was like, "Oh, that house across the street is open. You should move in." And they had offered before, and the timing didn't really work out, and other things didn't really line up. But then they brought it up then, and it was like, that can work. And so that's been about almost 2 years now.
So you've moved from your apartment in Hollywood, and now you're living in a house, and you're across the street from Tracy Guns.
Yeah, and it's like I guess it was last night.
What's the address?
No.
Tracy owes me money.
Oh, but it's cool, man. He'll be over there playing guitar, and he'll just be like, "Yo, you got to come hear this." And then I brought him like a little tuner, because he was like, "Oh, do you have a mini tuner?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do." And there's little pedal and gear swaps that happen.
Yeah, I follow him on social media, and he's quite the gearhead, always experimenting and showing on social media what the new gear is sounding like. It's very cool to do that.
Yeah, it's really fun. I love gear very much too. So it's a fun place to live across the street from. It's Disneyland.
Disneyland. Was Tracy aware of your playing at that point, or had he already know who you were?
Before, I think it was when I filled in with Budderside in 2017, opening for LA Guns. That's where it kind of, like, the connection really happened, and then just social media, of course, too. That's
cool. So now moving on to Dorothy then. So how did you meet up and get the gig with Dorothy? Dorothy,
so her bass player, Elliot Larango, who also plays with Corey Taylor as well. He's on tour with him right now. We had done gigs together and been friends for quite a while. So I think my name had kind of already been in the hat around like 2019, but that was out with Faster Pussycat then. So they had somebody else on a tour that they did, and then the gig kind of came back around. Speaking of Ace Von Johnson, Ace is also good friends with Dorothy. So she had happened to be, this is when Ace still lived in LA, but she happened to be in LA because she doesn't live here either. So he brought her to the Viper Room to see me play. I was playing on one of the jam nights that used to happen there. And that was basically my audition. She was sitting in the booth, And I don't even really remember what I played, but it definitely wasn't any Dorothy songs. And then she was like, yeah, you should jam with my band. And then COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
And then she brought myself and Elliot to New York to record for what her last record was, Gifts from the Holy Ghost. And only a couple songs from those sessions ended up staying on the record. She ended up going and working with a bunch of other people, but that's really how it all started. So that was before I even played a gig with her. I was taken to New York to record, and then fast forward to now, I can't speak of a release date, but I know there's a release date coming soon for her fourth record, and I played on that a bunch.
That's terrific.
She was with that girl, the producer. What's her name? That songwriter.
That was Linda Perry. So that was
Linda. That's right.
That was prior to me. But I saw her a few times touring on that record cycle. I saw her play with Owen Barry, who's an unbelievable guitar player.
Owen is a great guy. Yeah.
And I saw her play with Nick Perry, who's a really great guitar player. And it was like, so that's so stepping into, those shoes. I've always kind of felt a weight of that, because the players in her band before have always been so great. So it's a really, really fun gig, man. She's such a great and bluesy and like just passionate singer. Every night stuff is different. It's a little different from like a Faster Pussycat or Budderside. We're basically just kind of playing the songs as they are every night. Dorothy, there's a lot of jams kind of within the stuff, or she'll sing stuff differently every night, or we'll play stuff differently. Maybe a solo goes longer here or there. So it's really fun.
That's interesting.
When I met her, she was doing more like a dance music, like pop. Wasn't like 2000
alternative.
In 2012, she was going out with DJ Ashba, and whenever I hear her stuff, it wasn't nothing like that. She wasn't singing like she's singing now. Now she's like a...
That's interesting, Claudio. So she's gravitated from more of a pop career into her more harder bluesy rock career.
Yeah, her voice wasn't like that then. Now it's like she's powerful.
She's terrific. I love her. I really enjoy listening to her sing. She's found her place, I think. You know what I mean? It's I really enjoy her stuff. I
do too, and so it's really fun to be able to play it.
Live, she's really good too. Live,
Yeah. So once again, we see with Sam and with everybody that when you do come to LA and you're looking for gigs, it is important to get out there and do the jams and meet people, network. Go to the Rainbow, go to the Whiskey, go to the clubs and network.
It really is. I've been asked a few times by other kind of younger guitar players, like advice and stuff. And I think there's two things that at least in my experience, I think are pretty important. One is learning a lot of songs that you like, and because I grew up playing in bars and playing covers 5 nights a week, 5-6 nights a week, playing 9 to 1 very long gigs, and so having that experience, I know that's something that not everybody has readily available to them, but learning a lot of stuff that you like and kind of grabbing things from different places and training your ear to be able to pick out bits from recordings. And then you'd have to get yourself to a place and then mingle and socialize with people and be able to hang, because that's 90% of the gigs, as we all know. But just for anybody who doesn't, that's 90% is usually, the hang and being able to hang out with somebody.
Usually, you can have all those qualities, but if you have a hot girl next to you, everybody wants to know you.
For some, yeah.
Yeah, that can work. That can work a bit. So did I hear you say? I just want to clarify for myself. Did you get to record parts on her third album? Then the Gifts from the Holy Ghost.
Yeah. There's a couple songs that made it on there from what we did in New York.
That's great. Yeah, did you get to do Black Sheep?
Not that one. That one she actually did with Scott Stevens, the producer who actually did the new record. So those two songs, actually, Black Sheep and Rest in Peace. She did those with Scott Stevens, who's one of the Four Horsemen. And then that's what kind of pushed her in the direction of doing the new record with Scott. And there's some really fun stuff on there. There's some pretty kind of heavy stuff too. So I'm pretty excited to play some Dorothy stuff and drop B.
So on the next album, then on the fourth album,
the one that's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah. You're more the featured guitar player in that one.
There's, I'm playing a lot of the solos other than on like maybe one or two songs. And that's because there's somebody else playing on it that I can't talk about. And I can't talk about. But somebody cool. And so it got to record a lot of layers and a lot of solo-y parts, and got to be creative in the studio with Scott for 3 days. We actually both had a 3-day gap where it ended up working out, and the divine timing, I guess, was pretty amazing. So very excited to be a part of that, and grateful that she asked, because she could have anybody play on her stuff. So it's very, very nice that I was able to play on this.
Gotcha. Now, which of the bands that you're in is the first band that you're playing arenas and stadiums with?
That's Dorothy. Yeah. Because we've done a few. She does those kind of Danny Wimmer festivals, which Budderside has done one or two, and we have a couple coming up as well. But Dorothy's done a lot of those big, like the Sonic Temple and Welcome to Rockville and Louder Than Life. Those kind of things where it's like 30, 40, 50,000 people.
Yeah, that's got to be amazing, Sam.
A few arenas. We've done a few of those too. Last year, basically we were doing a bunch of fly dates where there were all these radio shows in arenas. And then we've got a couple shows with Godsmack at the beginning of October too. So those are arena shows as well. So she's the first. Yeah.
Are you doing any shows where you're paired up with Mark Tremonti?
We are actually. Thank you for reminding me. We're doing that. There's a Creed festival in San Bernardino at the end of August 31st. And yes, paired up with Mark Tremonti, which a very good friend from St. Louis, my hometown, is Mark Tremonti's guitar tech. So that'll be very fun. That's
going to be amazing. So you probably get to do some hang time with him, right?
That'd be really cool. I think he's amazing. Just his work ethic and the amount of riffs that guy has written, the amount of creativity that he has is really incredible. Between Creed, Alter Bridge, and now he has a solo career where he's singing. It's just he's incredible.
Yeah, that's really great. I hope at this point, Sam, I mean, it's got to thrill you that a lot of the people that you've admired are now getting to know you.
It's a crazy thing. I don't really stop and think about that all too much, because it's just, I like to just kind of keep working and keep going. But that is something that I guess as a kid I kind of heard, could happen, and then kind of experiencing it happening is it's a really cool thing. I'm grateful that a lot of people that I have looked up to, that I have met, have been very cool. And they say don't meet your heroes, but in my experience, it's been okay so far.
That's great, man. That's great. Yeah, that's the saying. I first heard that when I was doing some interviews for Music Connection magazine, and I was really thrilled to be interviewing some of the people I was interviewing who had been heroes, to me growing up. And the editor told me that. I was going off to my first interview, a major interview, and he goes, "I don't know, Cole. Maybe you shouldn't meet your heroes. You'll find out that they're just people like everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's cool to me, is figuring out that they're just normal people, just from the outside. And as a kid growing up, it just seems like this completely just unattainable thing, when it's really just like, they're just actually people that cool stuff has happened to, and they've been, working their asses off, in their own right.
Yeah. And of course, in our industry, they're people just like everybody else, but they do have skills. They have skills that they've been able to grow and develop, and they've got a lot of talent a lot of the time. So
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't want to take that away from anyone, you know.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you already had a lot of stage experience already by the time you started working with Dorothy, but how did it feel to step out onto the stage for the first time at your first stadium or arena gig?
Well, I mean, it's kind of weird because the first time I stepped out on an arena stage was actually prior to living in LA, prior to working with any of these bands. I was actually 14. So,
Really?
yeah, my hometown with my first band actually. But I can tell you that show and doing that solidified. That was pretty much the moment that solidified that I wanted to do this forever. So, yeah, the next time doing it, there was one arena stage, actually that same arena stage. I played that same arena stage with Faster Pussycat the year we did that, the Tom Kiefer tour. It's exciting. I don't really get nervous in those situations or in the Dorothy situations. It's just, oh, there's just more people. They're a little further away. And, not to put it like this, but it's a true thing. It's like, it's just another gig. Like you got to try to deliver the same, at least I try to. It's hard to deliver the exact same thing between the Viper Room and, Prudential Center and wherever that is, or an arena show. But it's really that thing. It's another gig. There just happens to be more people there.
But you focus on your sound on stage, probably.
Always, yeah. And just trying to make it be.
It's all about that, playing.
Yeah, make it be as good as it can be.
So, Dorothy's song "Black Sheep," it's a great, stadium shouting song, as I call them. So, how was it performing "Black Sheep" in a stadium?
It was really fun. It's basically the same as playing it everywhere else. We're trying to do a song that probably needs tracks without tracks because we play with. Dorothy has 0 tracks. Our drummer Jake has a click track from a SPD pad, and that's only for a couple songs. Even sometimes he starts it with one and then turns it off because it needs to move for the, whatever the flow and stuff. Yeah, it was really fun. That song's kind of, there's a lot going on, so there's not a lot of time.
You're using in-ears or just for monitors?
Sometimes we have those, but a lot of times not. On the fly dates, we don't do in-ears just because, if it's a throw and go situation, that could be just kind of, it's easier to just go with wedges. But touring with her, we had in-ears and I loved it.
Yeah, too many bands, not enough time to even.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, continued good luck with Dorothy in the coming, coming tours and coming album, So through all this, you're still a member of Budderside, and who's also growing and releasing their music. And is there opportunities more for you for your songwriting with Budderside?
Completely, yeah. I mean, all the new record that we have coming out on July 10th, that's like the biggest out of what I'm doing. I'm very grateful to be able to play with the multiple bands I'm playing with, but the Budderside album coming out, that's the biggest display of myself as a guitar player, because those are my riffs and we're writing songs together, and my solos or this or that, and because that's I spend a lot of time here in this room, in this music room here, and writing a lot of riffs. And that's kind of my favorite thing with guitar. I wish I could be kind of more disciplined to practice more kind of shreddy things, but when I come to sit down and play, it's usually to try to write a riff or write something that could be used somewhere. So
right. Well, those
have a great drummer too.
Those shredding solos are amazing for sure, but I think rock is built on riffs.
Yeah, it's a thing, at least my favorite guitar players and my influences are mostly a lot of riffy kind of guitar players with big guitar tones. And so this new record with Budderside, it's called White Flame, and it comes out July 10th. And a lot of the songs have been released We've been releasing them as singles kind of here and there, but the new song that comes out tomorrow, the 26th, Ain't Alright, has pretty Alice in Chainsy kind of riff on the chorus, and that one's a little different from all the others, and then the others that are coming on the album are all pretty heavy. So
that's great. So we can say that, like, when you're hearing Budderside, like, this is Sam. A lot of this is you.
It really is. It's collaborative with all the guys in the band. Myself and Logan, our other guitar player. There's a new song on the record called Black River, and that one literally, it was like I wrote a part, he wrote a part, and kind of put them together. And we were sitting, he happened to be here, and we were sitting working on it together. And then there's other stuff like a song called Good for Nothing, or a song called Never Worth It. That was literally just me sitting at my apartment at about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and coming up with riffs. So
you got a great drummer in that band anyway.
Yeah, it's all about a good drummer.
Size, and the drummer is one of the best drummers, I think.
Now, who is he, Sam? Who's your drummer?
Jeff Dubray is our drummer. Yeah, and we've been lucky enough to have Kyle Hughes play with us as well. Kyle Hughes.
Kyle, I know Kyle.
Yeah, he's so great. But
he's from England.
The band is that's an old saying, right? Your band is only as good as your drummer, right? So
I haven't heard that in a while, but you're right. That's an old saying.
Very grateful.
He's playing now with the what's his name?
Richie Kotzen.
Yeah, Richie Kotzen.
Yeah.
Well, let's say it again for our listeners. Budderside has a lot of new releases that are coming out. A new single is releasing on the 26th, which is probably tomorrow at the time this airs. So everybody check that. It's called Ain't All Right.
Yes.
And that's releasing the 26th, and it's part of the whole album that's releasing called White Flame, and that's releasing on Wednesday, July 10th, 2024. So we'll be looking at all that. Well, guys, let's take a sample listen then to one of the songs off of White Flame. Here's about a minute or so of Budderside song, Never Worth It, on the Rock Music Alliance.
Desire hangs on every phrase, tap dancing on my brain, demons I can't confide in, listening. It's never worth it, it's never worth it. It's never worth it, it's never worth the price we seem to pay. Like a needle to the vein, craving my insanity. Hands are on me, cold is glowing. Feel the light begin to fade away. She slips inside of every thought, crawling into everything. Bones breaking just to reach it. This feeling nothing can replace. It's never worth it. 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 It's never worth it.
That's great, Sam. I really like the sound and style of the new releases, by the way. I'm really digging that. Who is all playing on the album? Are there any guest players as well?
Not any guests. We worked with a producer named Matt Good, who is in Arizona. Matt Good he was the guitar player and singer of a band called From First to Last, which is kind of a little more of the, I guess they were kind of more of a Warped Tour scene kind of band. But he has been a producer for bands like Asking Alexandria and Butcher Babies. And so he's just, watching that guy work is unbelievable. He's just, I know I keep saying that word, but it's like he's playing a video game, and it's watching him. Yeah, he's very fast, and That's who we worked with. So the first song we did with him was a song called Voices, and that really, the way he just opened the song up was great. So we worked with him on all 12 songs. He has his input in different places. There's some things that he came up with because that's what he does so well. And then other than that, it's the record is myself and Logan Nikolic, our guitar player, Nikolic, and Patrick Stone, our singer, Jeff Dubray on drums, and then there's various bass things kind of throughout too. So yeah.
Cool, man.
Where he's from?
Say it again. What was that, Claudio?
Where he's from? The guy from the producer. Where he's from?
Where's he from? I don't know where he's originally from. I know that he is based in Tempe, Arizona, and
asking Alexandria as a British one.
Yeah, he's been their producer, I think, for the last 4 records, maybe 5 records. So they go to Arizona to work with him as well.
Really?
And then I know he's worked with it's a lot of kind of new modern rock bands. I know he's worked with Butcher Babies. I know he's worked with maybe he did a song or 2 with Hollywood Undead, and works with a couple other things that I don't even really totally know about. But his last few releases with Asking Alexandria is really really stuff that I'm a big fan of. So.
Let's pause here for a word from our sponsor, and when we come back, we'll be asking Sam all about Crossbone Skully. Attention guitar players, join the thimble slide revolution and free your slide finger. The thimble slide is a mini guitar slide designed to be worn on the tip of your finger, about 3/4 of the way down your fingernail. When worn there, you can still bend your finger, and most importantly, it's allowing enough of your fingertip through so you can press the guitar strings. The thimble slide is larger at the back and smaller at the front, so it follows the contour of your finger. So when you're wearing the slide, it's not loose or rattling around on your fingertip. This also allows your other fingertips in nice and close for playing. The sizing gap allows you to make the slide a little bit larger or a little bit smaller for a nice custom fit. So while you're wearing a thimble slide, you can, of course, use it as a slide. But more importantly, it allows you to still fret the strings so you can play the guitar. You can play chords. You can play lines while wearing it. You can bend strings with your ring finger. You can drag your fingertip across the strings if you need to. You can do pull-offs, hammer-ons. So there you go. You can actually still really do all the things you need to do to keep playing guitars like that. With its patented shape, you can slide and fret while wearing the thimble slide. Visit thimbleslide.com. That's thimbleslide.com. So Sam, how did you meet up with Tommy Henriksen, who, for our listeners, is one of the guitar players in Alice Cooper's band for about the past 13 years. And he's also a member of the Hollywood Vampires. Amazing, So how did you meet up with him and become a member of his new band, Crossbone Skully?
I met Tommy via our mutual friend Al Bain, Mr. Al Bain for Leather. Al Bain makes all my guitar straps and helps me with my wardrobe, and he's a fantastic human being who has also worked with Tommy for many, many years. And he's the one who linked us up. Originally, I was supposed to try to help Tommy sell some gear, and then that just ended up not really working out. And then he came to LA and we met at some point with Al, and the social media following as well, following each other on social media. That kind of, you know, helped with that as well. And then the Crossbone Skully thing came up because he was shooting 2 videos last April, actually. It was actually the weekend of my birthday. And Albane called me and he was like, "Oh, Tommy needs a bass player for these videos. Can I get this guy's number?" And I was like, "Well, hang on. I own a bass." I was like, "I'll do it." So I sent Al a picture that he sent to Tommy of me with a bass, and I just wrote on a piece of computer paper. I was like, "This guy," pointing at my face. And then Tommy called me. Al gave him my number and he called me and was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't think you'd want to do it. You're a guitar player." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a guitar player, but it's a music video. We're just, you know, miming anyway. Like, I'd love to be in your video and work with you, you know?" So that's how that came about. And then he decided to go a little bit of a different direction. And he called me and he was like, "I want you to play guitar for this. You know, I want you to be playing guitar." So that's how it worked. And then we did a few more videos back in September. I think I Am the Wolf and Unbreakable and Money, Sex, or God. And then those have gotten released sporadically. And then we just did a few more, which I saw you guys at. You guys were there, and Cole was very nice to give me a updated thimble slide.
Awesome. And there it is.
Right
Hey.
You can shine it.
And it's at the disposal. And yeah, so that's really how it came about working with Tommy. It's been really, really fun. I dig his songs, I dig his music, and he's such a cool dude.
Yeah, that's an amazing connection, amazing hookup, you know, from Al Bain. That's way to go, Al. You know, this is really just an amazing hookup. That's great. And, you know, Tommy probably appreciated where you were coming from, Sam, because, I mean, he's a multi-instrumentalist himself. I mean, he plays bass and guitar as well. So he probably, yeah, you know, probably related to you right away.
Yeah, you know, it's not that I really would call myself a bass player. I mean, I'd love to play bass at some point, actually. I feel like it'd be really fun. I'd be that guy, you know, playing the bass with a pick, probably, unless I can kind of figure out how to play with my fingers. But
sling it low and use a big pick.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really cool. Tommy, I've always thought Tommy is just so cool. And he's such a great guitar player. Really just watching him play with Alice Cooper, especially on the Monsters of Rock cruise a few years back. They actually had Tammy Down, the singer from Faster Pussycat. They had him get up on stage and do Schools Out with them on the cruise. It was so cool. I felt like I was there watching my uncle sing with Alice Cooper. It was so cool. But watching that band play, like Ryan Roxy and Tommy Hendrickson, it's like a guitar clinic on rock guitar. You know, just the tones are so great, and the playing is so just, you know, on point for just like old school rock.
Yeah, the it's a lot of energy, you know. Energy is kind of tied up with rock and in that style of playing, you know. And it's not just the riffs, but it's the energy you're putting into it and putting out, you know.
Yeah, and the show, and especially that show is just it's so incredible to see. It's yeah, those guys are so outgoing on stage, and it's just like it's really cool.
Gotcha. So who is all in Crossbone Skully? Who are the players?
The players that he's assembled to be the band now, because he's the record he kind of did over COVID times with Mutt Lange, and that was before he decided to kind of really get anybody else involved. I know Chris Wise is bass player. He played on a few songs. I know that. So he's the exception. But myself on guitar, Anna Cara on guitar. He's somebody that he found on Instagram, crazy enough. And she's really cool and a great player. And then Tuesday is who he's had in a few videos on drums. And Tuesday, actually, her and I were in the same band, but at different times. We both played with a band called Knee High Fox, which is Christine Connolly. She's actually with she's been with Spider One from Power Man 5000. They've been together for
Yeah.
quite a long time, but she's a songwriter. And so Tuesday and I actually played in the same band, but at different times. So we had never played together.
Is she
And
American?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I don't know.
because
I don't assume.
she didn't show up for the videos because she was in Europe, I guess, no?
Oh, yes, she wasn't there for these ones. So there was a kid named Alex.
Now is Alex just filling in for the videos, or will we be doing some shows with him?
I don't totally know. That's a up to Tommy and them kind of thing. I
Gotcha.
hope we do some. I hope we do some shows. He's hit me up about like, a possible thing, but then I didn't think it really worked out for him, and it didn't work out for me as well. The timing of it, and so I don't know. I hope we do something though. It'd be really fun to kind of work for a little while and then do like an LA show or something just to start it. So I don't know. I don't know what his plan is totally, but it'd be really fun.
So in Crossbone Skully, is Tommy playing any guitar, or?
Not on the recordings. No, he basically is just the singer. I think he played some bass on maybe a couple songs. Forgive me for not knowing. I don't know the guitar player's name right
The guy
offhand.
from Def Leppard plays on it.
He played on a solo on a song, yeah. And Tommy's got a few features. I know he's got Nikki Sixx on a song. I know Johnny Depp's involved, and so because again, this is something they started in COVID times, but now he's talking about things in the future would hopefully involve the rest of the band, and he seems like a real kind of he's a band guy. He's an old schooler, so it's cool. The music is really cool. It's very much got that Muttling stamp that so much music that we all love has. And it's fun.
At this point, how many releases does Crossbone Skully have out there?
Maybe five, maybe six. I don't know the exact number. Somebody chime in the comments.
I think well, is there any new releases on the way for Crossbone Skully at this point?
There is for sure. I knew we just did 3. Did we do 3 or 4? I think we just did 3 or 4 music videos. Maybe it was 4. You guys were there. We just did 4 more music videos, and so
that weekend you did 3 videos, I think, right?
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like it was
Or 4.
No, it was 4. It was
Okay,
4. So, and I had just gotten right off tour. I had basically one day off, and then was there at those video shoots. So it was, and that was really cool that Tommy ended up scheduling those. I mean, he had to work around his crazy schedule as well, but he told me that he had scheduled those around.
Yeah, and it looks like about 2 days after
town.
that. Yeah, about 2 days after that video shoot, they took off on Alice Cooper's tour. So it looks like they're busy now, like all the way to November or Christmas, right?
It's crazy. They tour like crazy. So that's the thing. You got to get together and film a few things. So there's content to release for a little while. So then they have time to edit it all, put one out, and then a little while put another one out. And
yeah. I was looking at Alice Cooper's website. It looks like about 62 shows that I counted. Yeah, they're off on.
Unbelievable.
All between now and like November,
Yeah.
And then the vampires come in.
Yeah, which, by the way, Sam, I am going to be at Guitar Summit in Mannheim, Germany. I do like NAMM show and I do some guitar shows. Guitar Summit's kind of a newer show, taking over for Music Messe, which is pretty much defunct at this point. But did you ever get out to those shows?
No, I've heard of the one that you just mentioned, the Music Messe. I mean, I get to NAMM. Did I go there I think I went there this year. I've been going to NAMM since I was a kid. Actually, my first time going to NAMM actually was when I was 14 as well. But before I lived in California, and I've been to a couple guitar shows like in Dallas and Arlington. Yeah,
the Dallas International Guitar Show, headed up by Jimmy
Yes.
Wallace. That's a good one.
Yeah, I love guitars. So anytime going and looking at guitars somewhere, I'm all about that. I'll go to music stores on tour all the time. It's just, it's my addiction.
Well, bringing it back to Crossbone Skully, let's take a sample listen to a Crossbone Skully track, a couple of them. We'll do a short little sample, and so let's do about 30 seconds or so of "I'm Unbreakable," and followed by about a minute of "Money, Sex, or God." Here's Crossbone Skully on the Rock Music Alliance.
Hey you, now you ready for the crash land? Yeah you, will you be the last one standing? Send me dance. Oh, times are rough and you gotta stay tough. I'm a warrior. I'm unbreakable. I'm unbreakable. So God, what you gonna choose? Money, sex, or God? I bet you God ain't gonna lose. Money, sex, or God? If it was up to me, you're all gonna lose. Now don't look so surprised. I decided to set it free. Now don't look so surprised when you see I got the key. On the brain, for the grade, damnation on the rise. On the brain, for the grade, salvation, pick your prize. Money, sex, or God? What you gonna choose? Money, sex, or God? I bet you God ain't gonna lose. You lose. Money, sex, or God? What you gonna choose? Money, sex, or God? I bet you God ain't gonna lose. Money, sex,
That is really fun stuff, man. That's just fun rock and roll, I think, Immediately what I hear in it is it's like a mashup styles of, it's like AC/DC meets Def Leppard rolled into one band,
Yeah,
That's that Mutt Lang aspect.
the Matt Lang influence.
Yeah. But it's
Especially all those background vocals.
yeah, but this is high energy, fun rock and roll. I mean, this is to me, I can see this. This is going to be another stadium and arena type of band, a festival band.
The chorus is totally Matt Lang. Right
Yeah.
there, Def Leppard.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and
totally.
I think Tommy has a great voice. It's really it's amazing hearing him. That's kind of like his natural kind of thing. The timbre to his
Yeah.
voice. Even though he's kind of, I feel like he's a chameleon because he can do a lot of different kind of sounds and things with his voice. But hearing him sing lead like that is really cool.
Yeah, it took me by
Right.
surprise. Actually, he's like a way higher, vocal than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Are there
Yeah.
any live shows or tours scheduled for Crossbone Skully?
Not at the moment, not that I know of. We just did a few videos, and those should be releasing kind of at different times. And yeah, that's the latest that I'm clued in on, that I know of at least currently.
Great, man. Great. Well, guys, Sam, that brings us to the end of our, talk on our show today. Going to wish you good luck with all that you're doing. I don't know how you juggle so many bands, man. That's just incredible. And people listening, you can keep in touch with Sam on social media. Look for the name Sam Bam Koltun, spelled Koltun. And plus, something new, find the Rock Music Alliance on patreon.com and join us there, and you get stuff. We got stuff at every level. You'll get stuff when you join there. It's fun. And look for the exclusive content portion with Sam Bam. And Sam, thanks for being our guest today on the Rock Music Alliance interview sessions.
Thank you for having me.
Sam.
I have a Patreon as well, if anybody wants to check that out as well, which I try to post as much exclusive stuff as I can. I basically take a lot of video and a lot of stuff just behind the scenes that I don't post anywhere else and don't post on my regular pages. And thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the support. It was really great to see you guys a couple weeks back, and thanks for having me again for this update.
Take care, Sam. We'll see you.
We're proud of you, man. We're proud of you.
Oh, totally proud. Like I say, this is a really kind of a really cool moment because we're getting to see this guy's career. Like I first saw you at Ultimate Jam, many years, several years back now. And, I was in the audience and Al Bain was next to me, and he leans, I'm looking at you and I noticed right away, you have a real powerful charisma when you play guitar, when you're on stage, and Al leaned over to me and he says something like, it was like, what do you think of this kid? And I'm like, I think he's going to be a star. It's just, and here you are, man. We're watching your career. It's like watching a meteor. You're taking off.
Well, I appreciate it, and I love playing guitar. So I really enjoy getting to do it in various outlets with various people that I very much adore. And I'm grateful for everybody kind of being understanding of schedules and just being able to juggle the multiple things and scratch those different musical itches. So,
but you get a great tone on your guitar. You know that, right?
Yes, Sam. You're one of the better sounding guitar players out there.
I appreciate that so much because that's all I do is sit and obsess. That keeps me up at night.
As a matter of fact, let's end our public broadcast here and let's talk a little bit about your gear and sound on our exclusive content. Here we go, guys. Thanks, Sam. We'll catch you back in a couple minutes. I'm Cole Coleman, and for Claudio Pesavento, the Rock Music Alliance, and the RMA Awards, thanks for watching and listening. Visit us at rockmusicalliance.com and check out this year's RMA Awards for rock, metal, and progressive rock music.